Now this is simple program design part 2 for handstands, calisthenics, bodyweight strength training. If you haven't seen part 1, I will put a link down in the description, but just a quick recap. So basically what we've done is we split our week or our sessions into 3 different components. We had our mobility, we had our strength, and we had our balance work. Now the mobility we was going to split into a daily practice. It doesn't mean you need to be doing hard flexibility sessions every day, but it means we want to be visiting our ranges on a daily practice when we use them in our strength and our balance sessions. And I will do a separate video on that, so that's a daily practice. Our balance sessions, 4 to 5 sessions per week, depending on our balance goals and our current level. Again, we can cover that in a separate session, but it needs to be really important, especially if our strength goals are related to our balance. So things like press handstand, handstand push-ups, one-arm handstands. So what we're going to cover today is the strength sessions. How do we split the strength sessions? How do we work out what we do in each session? And at the end, I'm going to cover any questions that I've received in the last couple of weeks regarding the programming. So we can split the strength sessions in lots of different ways. So let's look at a couple of options. We could do a push-pull. So 1 day push, 1 day pull. So push movements are things like handstand push-ups, press handstand, dips, push-ups, squats, etc. Pulling movements are, you look at the opposite movements. So a handstand push-up, the opposite one to that would be a chin-up or a pull-up. Opposite movement to a press would be like a front lever pull or a start of a skin the cat. Opposite a dip would be something like a chin-up or a pull-up again. Opposite to a push-up would be a row. Opposite to a squat would be like a pulling movement, maybe a deadlift. So you could do 2 to 4 sessions per week. Session 1 would be this. Session 2 would be the pull. And then you could do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, back to the push again. And the following week, you could do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or if you've got a priority, so if you want to work more push, you would just do 2 sessions per week. So maybe Monday and Friday that were push, and 1 session per week, which was pull. Next thing to purchase for the YouTube channel is definitely a new whiteboard. The other way we could split the strength sessions, and probably one of the most common way in the calisthenics movement world, is to go bent arm strength, so BAS, straight arm scapular strength, so SAS, and legs. So now we're looking at putting bent arm movements. So you've got, again, your handstand push-up, but now you're putting your chin-up, your push-up variations, your row variations. SAS would be things like press handstand, skin the cat, planche, front lever, and obviously legs, you're looking at squats, deadlifts, lunges, etc. So again, a totally different way of doing it. We now have 3 different sessions. So again, we could go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then another one on Saturday or Sunday where we repeat the BAS. Or again, we need to work out where our priorities are and probably do a few more of those. It gets a bit tricky though now when we've got 3 sessions to fit into the week. And then the third way of splitting it, before we go into the detail, is working on the skills. So when we work on skills, we could go, okay, my goal is a handstand push-up, it's a press handstand, and it's a pistol squat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this on day 1, this on day 2, and then this on day 3 or session 3. And then again, I could do multiple sessions per week working on just the skill. And then it becomes up to you whether you want to do the opposite movement at the same time. So if you're working handstand push-ups, you could also work things like one arm chin or a chin-up variation. Press handstand, we could work like front lever pull or skin the cat. Pistol squat, you could work on deadlift or something like that. So that's 3 different ways of splitting your strength sessions. Now that's obviously dependent on your goals and obviously your current level as well. If you're completely new to strength training, you probably need to be doing more full body sessions and do 2 or 3 of those per week and then slowly increase the volume depending on your level. If you are doing this one and working the skills, probably a good way of doing it is to not worry too much about these, but you have some maintenance. So some maintenance that you do just to keep things. So maybe you're working on your handstand push-up, your press and your pistol, but you're doing a muscle-up stroke ring routine to keep other skills that you've already got, and you just do it like once a week just to check in and get them done. Maybe that and some deadlifts. Now, how do we divide our strength sessions? So what I would do is obviously have a warm-up. Now, this could be your handstands, your balance session. So your balance session could be your warm-up. So that could be balance. So you could do 20 minutes of handstands, half an hour of handstands first, and obviously there's going to be a little bit of mobility in there as well. If you're not, I would do a scapular warm-up, so a scapular movement, things like scap push-ups, hanging on a bar, arching scap pulls, that type of thing, to get the upper body ready for whatever you're going to do, whether it's presses or handstand push-ups and things, and just a general hip warm-up, Cossack squats, quad stretches, glute stretches, whatever you need to warm that up. So your warm-up is going to be number one. Everyone should do that. It's just depending on how much you need as an individual. After the warm-up, I'm going to go into some skill work. So it might be a little bit of balance. It might be partial range, say handstand push-up partial range. It might be slow eccentrics, working the pathway. It might be wall drills up against the wall for press handstand, where we're articulating the spine down the wall, trying to learn the pathway and the positions and the technique of an actual skill. Now, normally when we're doing that, we're trying to work things out, we're going slow, we're having longer rest times, we're trying to understand the movement, we're not getting heavy working sets done. That's part 3. So once we've done the skill work, there could be like 20 minutes to half an hour, say, of skill work. I would then go into the strength work. So if we're doing something like handstand push-ups, this might be more pike handstand push-ups. It might be wall assist handstand push-up, where this one might be freestanding, slow eccentrics, trying to work on the pathway, where this one is like banging out, say, a 5x5 sets and reps for the actual thing. If I'm working muscle ups, this could be negatives or eccentric muscle ups, and then here I'm doing chins, dips, and transitions for a 5x5, or 20 minutes of non-stop supersetting across that. So this is the work. This is going to make us stronger, but this number 2 is going to do this. And then number 4, I'm going to do accessory work. It might be something like toes to bar. It might be external rotation. It might be, if I've done chins and dips, I might do some push-ups and rows. So maybe a different plane of movement, but it's going to be a little bit lighter, maybe 2 or 3 sets where I've done the volume work, the strength work in number 3. And obviously the detail and the progressions of each of these exercises is going to be down to what level you're at and whatever skill you're working towards. But that's how I'd look at programming your strength sessions. Okay, next I'm going to answer your questions, and that will help with some of the detail for certain things. So if you're working on handstand push-ups, there's probably some questions in there regarding that. So Rosie and I have just gone through all the questions that I've got, and there's way too many to put at the end of this video because it's going to make it too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a separate video answering all your questions regarding the program design. If you have any other ones, stick them down in the bottom of this video and I'll add them in as well. I've also just opened up the membership option on the YouTube channel, so if you wanted to join on there, you get a weekly Q&A as well. So I'll answer your questions with a video. The join button is underneath all the YouTube videos. Let me know if you have any questions, stick them down in the comments below. Thumbs up and subscribe will be appreciated, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks, guys.